So you really want to know if it's worth it, right? What we're going to look at today is a comparative of my old Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Sport 42mm Space Grey, this guy, versus my new Apple Watch 42mm Space Grey Series 2. And I decided to upgrade, and I just want to take you guys through my thought process and why I've done that, to help me try and see if it is really worth it. So to start things off, I want to go through the physical differences between the Apple Watch Series 2 and the Apple Watch Sport. And there's only really two very minor ones. The first one is on the audio side of the Apple Watch, the left-hand side. There's an additional outlet now. This is purely there to eject water. It's not there for an enhanced audio experience. They both have the same speaker system inside them, other than this one is now waterproof. The other very minor difference between the Apple Watch Series 2 and the Apple Watch Sport is the Apple Watch Series 2 is now 0.9mm thicker, and that's to house that brighter display and because there's a bigger battery, and I'll get to those in a minute. So about that brighter display and bigger battery, the Apple Watch Series 2 does have a brighter display. It's supposed to be twice the brightness of the Apple Watch Sport, and the battery is larger. But that larger battery really doesn't mean that you're going to get extra time. It's there to take care of additional features like the GPS, and again we'll get into that. Now with my Apple Watch Sport, I never had a problem with the display. There's never been a condition where I've wished that it was brighter. To be honest with you, I turn it to halfway to save battery. Me personally, I use the watch quite a lot every day. I don't have to, but I charge it every night just so that I'm never in a position where I run out of power. Now, of course, with things these days, you always have the ability to take an additional charger with you to work, or take a battery backup pack anywhere you go, say you're traveling. The next difference between the Apple Watch Series 2 and the Apple Watch Sport in this comparison would be GPS. Now, the Apple Watch Series 2 has built-in GPS, so it actively tracks your activity as you're going. Myself, I run for recreation. I certainly don't run as seriously as I should, but if you are a serious runner, if it's one of your major hobbies, or you run marathons or triathlons or a professional runner, this is definitely going to be a key feature for you. The Apple Watch Series 2 actively tracks via GPS your location and gives you up-to-date information on the spot. However, with the Apple Watch Sport, your activity is still tracked. It's just sent back to your mobile device when you come in communication with it again, so i.e. when you go home. With both devices, the Series 2 and the Sport, you can still go for a run, you can still preload your favourite playlist, your favourite songs, and pair up to your Bluetooth headphones and carry on without your mobile device. It just means that the Apple Watch Sport isn't going to be as accurate in terms of actively tracked data as the Series 2. So moving on, Apple Watch Sport isn't of course waterproof. It's been tested up to depths of 10 meters, it's 33 foot, which is pretty cool. It means you can jump in the shower, jump in the bath, go on holiday, accidentally jump in the pool and forget that you've worn this little bad boy, and you're going to be okay. However, Apple wasn't never prepared to say that it was waterproof. Now, there's multiple videos on YouTube to show that people wear it all day long at water parks and they're absolutely fine. But to have that peace of mind from Apple to say that now the Series 2 is 50 meters resistant, which is far deeper than I ever planned to go wearing an Apple Watch, is great. It's great peace of mind. This was a massive tick in the box for me. I'm really happy that Apple decided to go ahead and make the new Series 2 waterproof, and this was definitely a reason for upgrading for me. Doesn't sound like much, but having that peace of mind is really up there. It's nice to know that this expensive piece of tech is going to be fine no matter what I'm doing around water. So just watching that footage back then, and I forgot to mention that Apple's own advice, should your digital crown get stuck, which does happen if you're working in dusty environments or you go to the beach or something like that, dust actually gets in there and it can occasionally stick, is to wash it under a warm tap and push and turn the digital crown at the same time. And that's for all Apple Watches, Apple Watch Sport, Apple Watch Edition, Apple Watch Series 1 and of course Apple Watch Series 2, and that's been from the launch of the Apple Watch. So back to waterproofing, Apple really does have enough confidence to say, yeah, if it gets stuck, stick it under the tap, irregardless of whether they've said that your watch is water resistant or not. Last main feature that you're going to get by buying a Series 2 is that improved S2 chip. the improved performance that Apple states I think was double the performance of the Apple Watch. So with Apple boasting about the improved performance, I really wanted to see it for myself. There's a ton of YouTube videos showing it. eBay, I opened at the same time both the Apple Watch Sport and the Apple Watch Series 2, and I have to say on first launch there really isn't any difference, not that I could know. Second launch, after both watches had learnt that I was using the app and I wanted it open, the Apple Watch Sport does delay. You may be talking a second or two, but that's no big deal breaker. So I know what you're thinking, Sam, you do own an Apple Watch Series 2, you did upgrade. Why? Get to the point. And I'll be honest with you, I love doing this. This is awesome. Bing. I don't really think it's worth the upgrade. If you own an Apple Watch Sport, it's a great watch. I think it's going to be great for you for the next year, possibly two. I really can't see Apple leaving you behind within the next 2 years. And I've got no additional features other than that waterproofing and GPS. So yeah, if you're purchasing a wearable smart device for the first time, definitely purchase a Series 2. From the moment I pre-ordered my Apple Watch Series 2, I ummed and ahed about it, but I had cash to spare. So there we are, a brief comparison of Apple's previous watches to this year's launch product. I hope this video has helped you in making your decision. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment below. Whilst you're there, hit that like button. If you didn't like this, there's a button for that too, but either way, subscribe at the same time. I upload content on a regular basis. And if you're using a Samsung device, you're already watching these videos. I think that answers your question.